Most people know Hastings for 1066, its ruined castle, fishing beach, and historic old town. But beyond those familiar landmarks lies another Hastings, a place of wild hidden beaches, Roman industry, medieval ruins, forgotten waterfalls, Victorian curiosities, and remarkable stories concealed beneath woodland and modern streets. Some of these places are passed every day without people realizing what they are. Others require a little more effort to reach. In this film, we will explore 10 of the most unusual and lesser-known places around Hastings. Beneath the cliffs of Hastings Country Park lies Covehurst Bay, one of the wildest and least-known stretches of coastline in the town. There is no promenade, no cafe, and no easy access. At low tide, sand, rock ledges, and huge fallen boulders emerge beneath the cliffs, creating a landscape that feels far removed from central Hastings. Its isolation has made part of the beach popular with naturists, although walkers, swimmers, and fossil hunters also come here. Seals are sometimes seen offshore or resting along the quieter sections of the coast. The surrounding rocks have also produced dinosaur footprints and other fossils, reminders that this landscape was ancient, long before Hastings existed. Hidden between the fairways of Beauport Park golf course are the remains of a Roman bathhouse, discovered in 1969. It was built to serve the people attached to a major Roman ironworking centre, where iron ore from the Weald was smelted in bloomery furnaces using charcoal from the surrounding woodland. Inside, the bathhouse contained separate bathing rooms and an underfloor heating system, allowing hot air to circulate beneath the floors. Stamped tiles link the site with the Classes Britannica, the Roman fleet that controlled much of the iron production here. Today, the excavated walls survive beneath a protective shelter, while most of the wider industrial settlement remains hidden beneath the golf course. Hidden among modern houses in Bulverhythe are the remains of St. Mary's Chapel, first established during the Norman period. Only part of the medieval church survives today, mainly the chancel walls, after the nave and tower were lost. The ancient stonework now stands strangely isolated within a residential estate, making this one of Hastings' most unexpected historic ruins. On a wooded ridge above Oare stand the ruins of Old St. Helen's Church, one of the oldest surviving church sites in Hastings. Parts of the building date back to the 11th century, with later Norman and medieval additions. Abandoned in the 19th century after a new church was built nearby, its roofless walls and weathered gravestones now form one of the town's most atmospheric historic places. Hidden in the woodland below Old St. Helen's Church is a small spring known as St. Helen's Well. Its true age and purpose remain uncertain, although local tradition links it with the medieval church and possible healing beliefs. Buried beneath mud and vegetation for years, the stone-lined basin was uncovered again in the early 2010s. Today, it remains one of Hastings' smallest and easiest historic places to overlook. Hidden in Summerfield's Wood is Brisco's Roman bath, but despite its name, it is not Roman. Built during the 19th century as part of the Summerfields estate, the spring-fed bath was designed like a secluded woodland grotto. Its weathered stone arch, pool, and moss-covered surroundings now make it appear far older than it really is. High above the St. Leonard's seafront stands the Burton family memorial, a small stone pyramid above the vault of James Burton, founder of the purpose-built resort. In 2021, a landslip on the cliff below forced the memorial garden to close. Years behind barriers have left this remarkable site increasingly neglected. Directly beneath it stands St. Leonard's Church. Burton's original church suffered repeated rockfalls before being destroyed by a V1 bomb in 1944. Its listed replacement also closed in 2018, following structural problems and the continuing threat of landslips. Hidden at the northern end of Alexandra Park is Old Roar Ghyll, a deep, wooded ravine with a seasonal waterfall. Once promoted as one of Hastings' attractions, Victorian visitors came here to experience the falls in full flow. A major landslip in 2024 destroyed part of the path and left the waterfall extremely difficult to reach. Today, this former tourist attraction is slowly disappearing back into the woodland. Hidden within the former Beauport Park estate stands an enormous Monterey cypress, one of the most remarkable trees in Hastings. Its vast trunk divides into several twisting stems and measures around 11 meters in circumference. Beauport Park was once landscaped with exotic specimen trees, but much of the estate has since returned to woodland. Today, this giant survives almost unnoticed among the surrounding trees. Hidden in Ecclesbourne Glen is a shallow sandstone cave once occupied by John Hancock's, known locally as the East Hill Hermit. A former London draper who had fallen on hard times, he settled here during the 1890s and lived a quiet, solitary life with a small plot of land outside. He remained in the cave until his death in 1918, creating one of Hastings' most unusual human stories. These 10 places reveal a side of Hastings that exists far beyond 1066, the castle and the familiar seafront. Roman industry, medieval ruins, forgotten waterfalls, hidden beaches, and unusual human stories still survive across the town, often in places people pass without ever noticing. You can find the full story behind every location, along with precise map pins and practical access information, through the links in the description. Which place surprised you most? And do you know of any hidden Hastings locations that should have made the list? Leave a comment and subscribe for more hidden history and landscape photography from Sussex.